Play your cards at the right time. Okay, if your timing is off, it doesn't matter what cards that you have. And you don't want to waste your best cards because you played them at the wrong time. Okay, so wait for that opportunity and play your good hand as soon as you can. Okay, next, be factual before you be emotional. Okay, so you want to build out a structure, you want to build out a foundation and a good understanding with logic. And you want to find where you can start to insert an emotional understanding. And what that's going to do is that's going to give you clarity so that you can go through life with a factual understanding and an emotional understanding. Next, a microscopic smile is enough to bump you up a point. So if you go out and you smile just a little bit, what it's going to do is you're going to have that vibe. You're going to have that vibe that attracts people, that gives you that sort of aura where people want to be around you, where they look at you and think, that's the kind of person that's doing something that I want to be a part of or that I want. Okay? Next, understand what booze does to you. Okay? So booze for me makes me see a dark part of life. Okay? So I have bad dreams and I see that dark side of life. And I want to be aware of that. I want to be keenly aware of what that does to me because I want to know what that darkness is, but I don't want to be in that darkness. So I don't want to do that every single day. And I don't want to do that every single week because I don't want that darkness around me or in my life. And I don't want that there consistently either. Okay, but I want to be keenly aware of that existence. Okay, next. Always build with love, and people will never see your flaws. They will only see you as perfect. Okay? Next, world champion fighters use the same mental strategies you use to overcome complacent thoughts. They have the same tools that you have mentally. Okay? So Israel Adesanya would tell his complacent thoughts to piss off when he would use strong ones to keep himself going. Okay, so he has the same mind that you do. All of his strategies to get through and persevere through the hard things that he has to think when he has millions of people watching him and he's fighting someone on live TV is he has to go, okay, this is a hard situation and my mind's trying to tell me, I'm not good enough or whatever it is. He tells those to go away and then he, incites those good thoughts. Okay? And that's what keeps him going. That's what keeps him driving. You have the same tools that he does. So use that tool to your advantage and recognize that it's just as hard for him as it is for you. Next. Shut up, brain. I am busy. I'm bringing in the good thoughts, and the good thoughts are going to overcome any feelings of complacency, doubt, or anxiety. Okay? So we're going to use that mental strategy so that we can get rid of all this stuff. We can get rid of all those thoughts that we can label as not good, negative, whatever. And we're going to only bring in good thoughts that are positive and that are beneficial to us so that we can get through what we need to get through and so we can get the result that we need. Next, only take pride in real life things that are big and require lots of progress to get. Okay, don't be one of those people who deal with some thing and then they go through it and it's kind of, it's a small thing and then they reward themselves for it. Or they feel like they went through something and they kind of juke themselves into, oh yeah, it was a short-term thing, but I'm going to feel so happy and so rewarded by it. No, only reward yourself for those big things that have a genuinely large, big, impactful impact on your life. Okay, those big long-term things, reward yourself for those. Next, you are the only person who can actually motivate and discipline yourself enough to do something. So when you wake up in the morning, there's no one to wake you up. And if there is, that's great, but they're not going to be able to get you through everything you need to do throughout the day. Okay? So you have to be your own best motivator, your own best teacher, and your own best student. You have to play all the roles required in order to get through your life in a way that's going to be smooth or get you where you want to go, okay? Next, improve your communication skills. They are the front-facing piece of your character, okay? So there's always going to be a situation where you have to communicate with someone and you want to have a good impression and you want to be able to clearly, effectively, and efficiently communicate yourself to them. Next, everything you do has a physical, mental, and emotional component. Each game you play has different portions of each, and you want to measure those portions out. Okay, so most of the games that you play are probably going to be mental. Okay, they're going to require you to have the right skills or have the right training or do something disciplined in order to get there. Okay, but there are also going to be games that are a lot more emotional or a lot more physical, and you're going to have to measure it out and play the game the best you can so you can win. Next, each thing in life can be seen as a game, okay? And it has a set of rules, and there is always a good way to play it. Now, we never want to view our life as a game because we live in reality, because our life is real, okay? But if we are able to place ourselves in the game mindset where we can see that we need strategy, that we need tactics in order to get something done, it might make it so that it's easier for us to get through what we're going through, okay? Next, some people are living life and playing a bunch of different games. Meanwhile, you don't even know how to play or that there even is a game to play. So find the game you want to play and then get through it. You want to see how you can beat it so that you can beat everyone in that game. You want to have the best strategy, the best tactics so that you can destroy everyone, that you can be the top competitor in that game. So find the game you want to play and beat everyone. Next, the big players have massive emotional swings, and these emotional swings are dramatic enough to push them to accomplish massive goals. If we think about who is someone who has accomplished the biggest thing, they've always had a time in their life where where their life sucked, where they didn't have any money, or they were completely broke, or they had no skills, or they had nothing left. And that amount of emotional pain is what drove them to have such a dramatic success, okay? So you might have to go through something that's extremely hard, or maybe you're in that situation right now, and that is going to be fuel. It's pent up energy so that you can go out and be extremely successful in the future. Next, how can you change to make your friends and family's life better? Okay, so we want to have this balance, or we want to have this kind of dichotomy between I want to make myself better and I want to find a way to improve my own character, and I also want that to have a good impact on the people around me. Okay, so I want to be a little bit selfish or a little bit self-interested, but I also want to be selfless because I want to build my community. I want to build my society around me, and what that's going to do is it's going to build up everything. Next, take lots of risk and do that in things that don't matter. Okay, so you want to be the kind of person who is able to take on risk, who is able to go out and do things that are a little bit risky. And what that's going to do is it's going to build a tolerance within you that's going to allow you to position yourself to where you have to take on a big risk in the future, and you can deal with that and you can tolerate that situation. Okay, and only do this with things that don't matter. Only do this with, a fraction of what matters to you, because you want to be able to build that tolerance, but you don't want to risk everything. Okay. Next, be more comfortable with dying if you want to live a life that you love. Okay, so the brutal reality is that we are all going to die at some point. Okay, and we have to find a way to be comfortable with that, to be comfortable with dealing with that. And if we are going to be able to live in the present moment, and we're going to be able to love every moment of our life. Okay? Next, assume more risk without being dangerous. Okay? And life is a risky game in itself, but you never want to risk everything. Okay? So you never want to risk your life because that is too much danger. Never allow yourself to be in such a dangerous situation. Okay? You want to be able to have a fallback or a foundation or something left so that you can rebuild if you have to. That if all the risk that you're assuming goes wrong and it all goes downhill, that you still have some way that you can build what you need to get back to where you were. Okay? Next, be self-interested in your life to the point where you feel selfish without actually acting selfish. Okay? But remain disciplined enough to not lose control and become a selfish person. Okay, so again, you want to have that dichotomy. You want to have that feeling of, I am pursuing exactly what I need to live the best life that I possibly can, but I also want to make sure that the society, the community that I have the community I have built around me is also benefiting from my self-interested situation. Next, if you looked at yourself through someone else's eyes, what would you say about yourself? Okay? So ask yourself, what would my best friend think about me? Okay? Or what would a stranger think about me? If they looked at me in a first impression, what would they think? And what this is going to do is it's going to give you so much clarity on who you are. It's going to give you so much perspective on what are the things that I need to change right now? What are the glaring problems that I need to fix in my life? Just looking at me from a surface level, okay? And then the people who know you better are going to be able to point out the bigger problems or the more internal problems, okay? So look at yourself from someone else's perspective, and it will give you clarity so that you can change things and make your life better.